People, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another video. We got Reece James ready to go. Do you know what I mean? The laptop, no apple juice, Saj in the background doing the madness. It's all kicking off here. Let's get into the meat and mash of the situation, right?
You know it's meat and potatoes. You've done this 5 times. Meat and potatoes. Why do you keep saying meat and mash? What is that? Unless you're mission mashing and you're a gangbanger, meat and potatoes. Jesus.
The DM situation needs an update, and I'm here to give it to you live and direct, brother. All right? Gilmour has gone on loan to Norwich, and it's left a hole in our squad. Let's be having you, Norwich, yeah? Remember that? The old lady came onto the pitch, did her thing. Pookie FC, Aaron's, all the man them are back in the Premier League thanks to a certain Daniel Falk who led them to the Premier League after, a good season. I heard they played good stuff, decent football. He used to be the manager at the Dortmund second team, so he knows Tuchel. So there's a little bit of a relationship there. There's a bit of trust, a little bit of bonding. Do you know what I mean? They understand each other. They know what each other's wants and needs are. So that's why he trusts him with his protege, Gilmour. Do you know what I'm saying? He's saying, listen, you take my little Scotsman, you look after him, you feed him, you clothe him, and you put him in that team, and he does the bits. He does the work. And you don't think he's going to play. But you're about to see. Watch.
I love how you add titles to players.
30.
Protege. The man's been in the club for 6 months.
30 appearances in the Premier League season. Watch.
Maybe if they sell their star players.
He's that good. So, Billy Gilmour, I wish you the best of luck. Let's see what you can do. Playing out from the back. No hoof FC from Norwich. I want to see good football. I want to see you playing through Billy. And let's see what you can do under the lights at Carrow Road. Is it Carrow Road? I hope so. Yeah, I got that spot, and you see I'm an intelligent brother. Now, listen. Let's get into the options, yeah, for replacing this guy. We're either going to get someone from in-house, in Cobham, from the loan system, or we're going to go out and purchase. Now, what is your preference? You let me know in the comments. Would you rather purchase or would you rather go in-house? There's a certain question that Chelsea fans need to look into the mirror, seek help, and decide, because you're getting very, flippy-floppy on this, Chelsea fans.
Does the loan system work?
No, it's not about that. The Chelsea loan system is a beautiful thing. Anyway, do we need a sitter or a box-to-box midfielder? So Kova and Kante are your box-to-box midfielders, not traditional ones like Essien, but they get forward, they carry the ball in different ways, and they'll find themselves in both boxes. Or do you want a sitter like Jorginho, sits in front of the back three, or whatever, picks up the ball, creates triangles, looks to progress the play from the midfield, break lines, and also he's the deepest one when we lose possession. Which one do you need? For me, just from saying that, sounds a bit lopsided. It sounds like we need a sitter to replace Jorginho. So that would be my priority in terms of my thinking when we go through these midfielders. So starting off with Gallagher. He's a box-to-box. He's a CM, a natural CM. He appears in both boxes, 2 goals, 2 assists this season, 25 Premier League appearances, 29 in all comps. Now, that screams to me that he's been an integral part of their team. He's been important. He's had a good season at West Brom. He's played games. You rate him, don't you? You rate Gallagher? Great stuff. We all rate him. Lovely. But is he ready to take that next step to Chelsea first team? Remember, West Brom to Chelsea, that's a big leap. And I know a lot of people are going to tell me, well, Mason Mount did it. Some of his comparisons. Reece James did it. Well,
Nicholson and Anelka, or was it the other way around?
Who?
Anelka?
Anelka is not a Chelsea product. Where did that even come from?
Didn't he go from Chelsea to...
That's not what I'm talking about, mate. I'm talking about players that came from the youth system.
Oh, the youth system.
The fuck? Are you alright in the head? Anyway, moving on. You can make those comparisons and say those players came from loans in the Championship, but the expectations for when Lampard came in under a transfer ban is different to the expectations that Tuchel has after winning the Champions League and is now meant to be going for the league title to compete with Man City and close the gap, which is going to be extremely difficult to do. So you can say that we've done it before, we can do it again, but the expectations and the pressures are not the same as we were in a transfer ban. That is something to bear in mind. Are we in the same position we were as a club when Sarri left under a transfer ban as we are after winning the Champions League and should be at the pinnacle of European football? That's something that you need to speak to your wife and kids or your children about at home. Just speak to your siblings, whoever you got, your loved ones. Let them know. Ask them that question that I asked you. Is it the same thing? It's probably not. So that makes it more difficult for Gallagher, or at least it should, right? It should make it more difficult for Gallagher. But he's coming in, he's had a good season. For me personally, I would loan him up to another team, a better team. However, in saying that, he is probably the most qualified player in this loan army who's just coming back to come into this team. Hard worker, gets around, presses, he wins a tackle, he likes to get in both boxes. He's going to work hard. He's going to be that fourth, hard-working guy in midfield that you can rely upon. Potentially that guy that is just again, just challenging the seniors and really wants to prove his point under Thomas Tuchel. However, does he have the quality to play for a Chelsea Champions League team? If injuries occur, one injury and suddenly he's the first in command. Does he have that ability to play at the Chelsea level and compete if we need to win things? That's a question you're going to have to ask yourself. Hence why, for me personally, I would loan him. But, like I said, top of the tree in terms of the loan army. Ampadu, Sheffield United. Not the greatest season for Sheffield United either. Again, another team that got relegated. He made 29 appearances, 25 starts in the Prem. Now, sorry, it was Gallagher who made 32 appearances and 30 starts in the Prem. My mistake. So Gallagher's played a lot more games, hence why he's the top of the tree. Ampadu, few less starts, right? 5 less to be precise. But he played most of his games at centre-back. Now, for me, for Ampadu, when we're playing a back three formation, most of what I've seen from Ampadu has been good in the back three, right? Played there for Leipzig in that game against Tottenham. Sheffield United, he played most of his games at the centre-back position. But he's played DM before, made, 6 appearances DM this season for Sheffield United. Also for Wales in the Euros, you'll see, before he was sent off and dismissed, DM, right? So he could potentially be your sitter, replacing Jorginho. So if you're looking for a sitter and not a box-to-box guy, Ampadu probably is at the top of your list. But again, did he really have the loan that you need to have at Sheffield United to then come into a Chelsea Champions League winning team as fourth choice? I don't think so. So it could be another loan for him. Personally, I think it should be. Next person on the list, LoftusCheek. Again.
Oh, sorry.
What was you going to say?
No, LoftusCheek, sorry, it just made me laugh. Sorry, I forgot he was still on the books.
LoftusCheek's a lot older, okay? Clearly not rated by some. For me, Loftus-Cheek, after the season that he had at Fulham, again, if you're looking for people, if you want to seriously say you're looking for 2 midfielders in this pivot, you're looking for a DM or a box-to-box centre mid, Loftus-Cheek has been playing a lot of the season in attacking midfield. Is he really a sitter? Definitely not a sitter. Does he have the defensive awareness to cover different angles, to be defensively aware and astute to cover? Probably not, right? From what we remember him at Chelsea at his best time, he's a box-to-box midfielder in a 3-man midfield under Sarri. He's been playing attacking midfield for Fulham and inconsistently at that as well, right? Don't do this. Don't do this, please. I love this guy. It's just a shame how it's worked out, all right? He probably should be higher up the field. If you're going to play him in the 2, he's definitely going to have to be the ball carrier, which is Kovac and Kante. Is there realistically a spot for Loftus-Cheek in this team? For me, personally, no. He's going to have to do a lot in pre-season to prove me otherwise and prove Thomas Tuchel otherwise. Apparently, Thomas Tuchel wants to take a look at him. But again, this is Chelsea, Champions League winners. If you want to compete for the Premier League... No, it's true. Is it not true?
It is true.
Did I tell a lie? Of course I'm going to milk it. I remember here when we was in the studio talking about games, I was getting stressed during that Lampard period. And he was like, oh, Matisse, you thought you were going to win the title. Oh, Matisse, imagine if we had won the Champions League with all these videos at this desk. I would have ruined you, my bruh. Ruined you, my bruh. So, yeah. Loftus-Cheek, let's have it 100 buckaroonies. You're going to have to do a Mazzolini in pre-season for you to get into this team. For me personally, what is best for your career, your age, go and get some first-team football at Lazio of Sarri, man. It just doesn't make any sense. But like I said, people, box to box, do you think we need him? Let me know in the comments. That's another option. Now, Chiloba at Lorient. Remember when Cheryl Cole used to do advertisement for that? Lorient, Maybelline. Is that it?
Maybe... It's Maybelline?
Something like that, yeah. I can't remember. Back when she was relevant. Anyway. All right, so Chiloba. There was no need for that.
Who?
There was no need for that. Oh, you didn't hear it? Okay, cool.
Cheryl Cole?
Yeah, you didn't hear the dig.
I don't care about Cheryl Cole.
Chiloba's an interesting one. Had a good season in France. Played a lot of formations, people. He played at a 3 at the back, left side defense in the 3 at the back, right side defense. So again, Ampadu played centre back in the back 3. So he's played a lot there. He's also played DM and sometimes a bit further forward in the CM position. He's played 3-5-2. He's played 4-3-3. He's played 4-2-3-1. Good season in France. So again, tactically versatile, understands a lot of different positions. Interesting player. Could be that sitter for Jorginho again, the deputy. But again, is he above Gallagher in this pecking order? Probably not, even though Gallagher was more of your box-to-box. Can we trust Gallagher to sit? It's going to be interesting what they make of these guys in pre-season. But Chiloba, another good season from him in France. But again, Champions League, Chelsea. It's a different level, man. You got to step up. Can he do it as the 4th choice? I don't know. A lot of people are telling me also, the debate that I had earlier, do we really need to spend on a DM? And this is, again, another discussion for you guys in the comments. Do we need to spend on a DM? Why can't we just use someone from the youth? They're not going to play many games. For me, personally, we ran Kante through the mud and we have done for the last few years. In order to rotate him and look after him so he can perform at his peak in the big games, we need to not use him as often as we used to. We need to make sure that we conserve him and look after him. And the only way to do that is to have good rotation. And how are we going to have good rotation if we've got quality and depth in the squad? So I don't think it's mad to ask for two players in each position. We've got 2 midfielders, 4 players. Challenging on all fronts, 6 comps, Premier League. You want a challenge? You need depth. That's why, for me personally, someone's got to come in my opinion. I don't think any of these guys that I've mentioned are really ready to make that jump unless they make a massive impression in pre-season.
What do you mean 6 comps?
Super League, Club World Cup, Prem, FA Cup, League Cup, Champions League. 6 comps.
The Super Cup is one game.
It's one game. It's still a comp.
What, you counting the World Cup competition?
Yes.
You jammy boys.
That's 2 games. 3 games!
That's 6 comps.
Listen, they're flying all the way out to Japan. That is going to take its toll on some brothers. I remember when Liverpool had this tournament, they had to fly 2 different teams out. Because they had the Carabao Cup and they had the Club World Cup. They had to...
really count the Super League as a comp.
Listen, you're not in it. You don't know about that life. All right, moving on to the potential incomings. You got Declan Rice and you got Tchouaméni, okay? 2 players that have had a lot of football this year for West Ham and Monaco, respectively. Now, we'll start with Declan. Everybody knows about Declan, right? He's been the talk of the town in the fan base. Fan base extremely split. One part of the fan base thinks he's a bum. The other part of the fan base thinks he's God's grace. Probably not either, he's probably not either. Probably in the middle. Just a very good player who needs to be improved in some very important areas, in my opinion. You've seen how he's been playing for England. Not the greatest tournament for him so far, in my opinion, from the games that I've been watching. Needs to take a bit more responsibility on the ball, get a few more touches in there. Yes, he does sit. He allows Phillips to progress, but we need a bit more, especially with what we've seen from Jorginho for the Italy team and for the Champions League run. A player that likes to get involved, dictate possession, play those balls in between the lines, and has just taken a lot of responsibility in Chelsea's build-up play. For me, in a possession-based team, Declan Rice is going to have to get used to doing that. If you're going to play DM for Chelsea, it's all good doing the rough and tumble, dragging man down, the dark arts, all that kind of stuff, the tackles, the passion, all that's great. It's fantastic, and I love it. The height, the physicality, we need it. We're missing it in the midfield makeup. But you've got to be able to get on the ball and string those passes together and help Chelsea break out of a press under pressure. I think Declan Rice, without the pressure, without being pressed too much, he's a great passer of the ball. He's got 2 great feet, left foot, right foot. He can ping the ball. He could do loads of things, go on little strides, of course. But under pressure is where it's going to count. So take the price out of it, because we know Marina's not going to splash stupid money. She's going to negotiate. Could be a good signing. But again, I know it's very hot and cold with a lot of you. That's an option. Apparently Thomas Tuchel's first choice target. Tchouaméni at Monaco, another player.
Be honest. Mm-hmm. How long did it take you to learn his name? What's his name? Tuchamonji?
No, I used to call no.
Tamagotchi.
No, I used to call him Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi. As banter. But I know his name's Tchouaméni.
How long did it take to learn?
Tchouaméni's easy to say. It's not hard to say. Tchouaméni. Monaco.
How many games you watched this season of him play?
A couple. Not live. I had to go back and watch them.
Tamagotchi.
Looks like a good player. 42 appearances, 36 in League 1.
How old is he?
I think he's a 21. Very young player. Very, very young player. I think he's 21. Don't quote me on that. Like 21, 22. Very young player. Highly rated by Cesc Fabregas, who's in that team. He's played alongside Fofana. So they have like a duo, a pivot system going there. So he's used to playing in a 2. Much like Declan Rice with Souček. So if you're coming into this formation, these guys know how to play in this formation. Declan Rice would be more your sitter. Again, Tchouaméni would be your more box-to-box. Very good ball carrier. Again, someone that's very press resistant, uses his strength. He's very good. He's actually quite a traditional box-to-box midfielder. One that we don't really have in terms of traditional, like I said earlier in the video. But he's actually quite a good box-to-box. A lot of potential there. We'll see where his career progresses. A lot cheaper as well. Potentially maybe 30, 35 million pounds. Again, the French market is collapsing. Could be an opportunity to take advantage. But he's not a sitter. So, again, it's about wants and need analysis, people. What do you think is the priority? What do you think we actually need in that midfield in terms of the makeup? It's all about, it's all about getting it right here, because Tchouaméni could come in, Rice could come in, one of the loanies could come in. But if they don't fit into what we need into that midfield, it's all going to go tits up very, very quickly. They need to be able to fit in immediately. And they don't have to start. But I need an option that you can at least bring off the bench for winning games. I need something. I need a different profile, different makeup, physicality, stature, something different to add there. Because if we get an injury, people, and we ain't got a competent 4th choice, it's not going to go well. It's not going to go well. So we need to address this. We need to address it now. I've gone through all the options. Let me know in the comments who you like, who you want. For me personally, if it's a purchase, value for money, at the current market prices, not what West Ham are trying to quote, Tchouaméni's looking like a good option. But I already told you, I think we need a sitter, not a box-to-box. So that's where the compromise comes in. And then if you're looking at the loanies, who's got the experience? Again, Gallagher's got the most experience, Premier League football, playing every game in this midfield position, not back three. But Ampadu has played DM for Wales, has played sitting midfield, sometimes for Sheffield United. Less games, not as good a season, but he sits. Again, a compromise. Let me know what you man them think in a bit, people. Peace.